To this now, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi this afternoon visited the family of a 5-year-old Ditebogo Junior Phalane who was shot during the hijacking of his father's vehicle right outside their home on Friday night in Soshanguve. It is believed that the boy had gone out to welcome his father when he arrived home when a group of armed men fired shots, wounding the boy in the process. He later died in hospital. Themba Masango, co-founder and Secretary General of #NotInMyName International, joins us now to weigh in. Themba, thank you so much for your time. Welcome. Let us first get your reaction as #NotInMyName International following this tragic incident, sir.
Definitely shocking, but most of all painful. I think this has gone to the hearts of every forward-thinking South African, that crime is now taking the bodies of young children. A young boy, Junior, who was just going to welcome his dad back home from running errands, and was fatally wounded by unmerciful, real ruthless killers. And we as Not In My Name continue to say to the powers that be that we need to make sure that the crime in South Africa becomes an issue where it's number one in legislation, because no matter how prosperous a country can be, if it's not safe, nobody would want to invest in the country. Nobody would want to be a part of the country, and especially in our townships. Soshanguve has been in the media a lot of late with regards to bad incidents, and we are saying that the police, especially in Gauteng, should focus their energies in township areas, specifically like Soshanguve, and we also should look at making sure that we are very stringent on gun laws, where people they need to be stop and seizures, people checked, because it looks like every Tom, Dick and Harry now has a firearm and is ready to kill.
Look, Themba, we know that e-panic buttons in the area were actually introduced during a crime imbizo, where Gauteng Community Safety MEC Faith Mazibuko had promised that they'll also be rolling out CCTV cameras, which are part of an elaborate plan, they say, to fight crime here in Gauteng province. But do you think that this has yielded any results?
That's all good and well, but you and I can go and take a drive in Soshanguve right now, or any other township. Mamelodi right now, and I can tell you, if there are those cameras, they are definitely not in the township, or they're not working. The only place that I know of that is actually having a good security system around is the Hatfield area. And that's also because residents and people in there have actually taken their own effort and time to go and install those things. So I think a lot of politicking and a lot of rhetoric has been said around this. But until we see action on the ground on a daily basis, until we see police visible, especially in our townships, people will always be skeptical with regards to the political will and the power of the powers that be to actually eradicate crime. But we want to say that we're going into elections now, and on top of the voters' minds is this issue of crime. And we are calling on South Africans to vote wisely, vote on your lived experience, not just your conscience, but your lived experience that you are seeing as South Africans, especially to people in the township, to make sure that we have a say, because this is an opportunity where we can really have a say with regards to the issue of crime and it changing in this country.
But Themba, what do you think has contributed as of late to the uptick in terms of crime, particularly in areas like your Soshanguve as well as other townships in the country? And do you think that there is a clear enough plan to actually deal with crime? And do you think police have enough resources in such areas?
I think, number one, it goes to the political will. when we had the lockdown, we had police in every single area, and people were policed to make sure that they don't buy alcohol and they don't jump the street. People were closed at home. Now we want the same type of activity, strength, action to be reinforced, especially in township areas, in hotspots like Soshanguve, Inanda, Mamelodi, places like Guguletu, Khayelitsha and Cape Town, the Cape Flats. They do have the resources. In Gauteng particularly, we've got the manpower now with this Themba Masango Lesufi. You should have people patrolling the streets 24/7. But it seems as though these are just things that keep being said. And it's nice rhetoric, but they are never actioned. And we get to wonder whether township lives really matter to the powers that be or not.
Themba, they're always saying that, these communities are saying that those boots on the ground don't really amount to any decisive or action in the area. I mean, we know that South Africa is a crime scene, the high murder kidnappings, the hijackings that are reported daily. So what do you think such communities they need to do in order to deal with crime, especially in instances where police just seem to either not be highly visible or simply just cannot deal with the volumes of crimes committed in the areas? And what additional measures can communities as well as government initiate to combat such crimes, you think?
Indeed, you are right to say that South Africa is actually a crime scene. It's known as the rape capital of the world. Our femicide rate is 5.1 times anywhere in the world. And we're calling on communities to organize themselves. This is a time where we need to get back to street committees, to people like we used to do, just before the fall of the apartheid time, where every street, every section, every ward would have committees, and young men will be going around, making sure that the places are safe. We ran a campaign like that in Hammanskraal in 2018, where we were actually having young men who are unemployed in the area to wake up at different hours of the night up to the mornings to take, especially our mama who are going to the bus stations, who are going to the train stations, to walk them there to make sure. But, it becomes unsustainable when, there is no real resource behind it, when it's being done out of people's own pockets. But I think, for us to rather be safe than sorry, let us as communities sacrifice the little bit that we have, get together and organize ourselves, see our street patrol of our own, and make sure that we are organizing ourselves against this rampant crime, which government seems to just talk about but never wants to do anything about.
Themba, thank you so much for your input this afternoon. That is Themba Masango of hashtag Not In My Name International, calling for communities to organize themselves against the high crime levels, especially in townships.